All right, today's the start of my retired journey as a Division I athlete. The past 4 years, all I've done is dedicate myself to throwing. And now that I'm retired, I kind of have free will and do what I want with my training. But I still want to be an athlete, but I also want to be stronger than 99% of the population and look better than 99% of the population. I've been doing like pump lifts and everything for like 2 weeks, but starting yesterday, got back to the cleans, squats. My goals by the end of the summer, I want to deadlift 5 plates. I want to hang clean like 330. I would like to push press 308 still. I've done that before, but my shoulder is a little messed up. I have a torn labrum in my shoulder, a torn labrum in my hip. That being said, now that I have the ability to do what I want, I can kind of train around that. I'm also going to actually do cardio, which I haven't done for 4 years. A little bit of plyometrics and a tiny bit of sprint work, but I haven't really done it for a few years. So I want to keep up with my cardio. I'm not going to be a distance runner. I'm not going to do marathons. Fuck that noise. But I still want to be a better athlete than most people on the planet. So that's the goal. I'll check back in weekly, a couple times a week maybe. I want to kind of like keep a video diary of what I'm doing just to keep myself accountable so I can look back at the end of the summer and be proud of, the work I put in. It's also weird, like, gonna have a job now, not going back to school, like, I need to do things that keep me active and keep me accountable. All right, here's the game plan on how I'm going to achieve my goals. So I'm coming from a throws background, lifting 4 days a week. I have a good Olympic base. I'm going to transition a little bit from Olympics to a little bit more like power building, but keep the Olympics in. So I'm doing lower, upper, rest, lower, upper, rest. Lower is day 1 on Monday and day 3 because it's what I'm prioritizing. So I want that to be when my CNS is the freshest, coming off the weekend on Monday. And then I'm going to do my sprint work to start. I'm doing it on my day 2, so my first upper day, which is a little odd just because my legs are going to be a little sore. But to start, it's going to be tough. But then once I transition into it, I'll adapt to it. I'll be fine. I'm going to really probably catch Olympics 1 day a week. It's going to be my Monday. It's my primary lift. And then my main compound is going to be squat. I do have a torn labrum in my hip, and then I have a pulled hamstring adductor on my other leg. So I got to really slowly work back into that. It's been like about a month since I've pulled the adductor, and then I've had the torn labrum for a while. So I kind of know like how to train around it a little bit, but still a little bit of pain when I squat. My day 2 is going to be primary bench day as the main compound, no Olympics, with then a little bit of accessory chest and shoulder, but then more back. Because my second leg day, I might do some high pulls on that day. I'm not sure yet. I'm not going to catch clean, but primarily I'm going to deadlift. And then squat is going to be my accessory that day. Friday, main lift, push press with a more of a push focus and a little bit of back accessories. Always going to blast arms and forearms too. All right, week 1 training over, clocked in at 220 this morning body weight, which is about where I've been at. I was 210 after 2 weeks of going out and partying, whatever, at the end of college, so didn't really eat. So I bounced back up to 220 pretty quick. I feel good. Push press 264 for a double today pretty easily. I was pretty smoked from lift yesterday. We had heavy deads and then 3 sets of front squats of failure. After push press today, did a little bit of back, just a tiny bit, and then was mainly a push/hypertrophy day. Ran this morning, did 10 minutes of light jog. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep Tuesday a light sprint day, and then today is just going to be a light jog day just to ease into it. Eventually I'll probably up the timing, but probably won't up the intensity. Or maybe I'll up the intensity and keep the 10 minutes the same. I'm not sure. But overall, good first week. I think I'm in a good spot strength-wise. Definitely starting to fill out a little bit more after, 2 weeks of not doing anything. I upped the carbs a lot. I'm not sure how much I'm eating. I really should weigh my food. I have a scale here. Kind of just like intuitively eating right now. But, I'm putting on weight, so I know I'm in a surplus, which is good. I feel full. I feel strong. So week 1 in the books. Good week. All right, midweek, week 2 update. Yesterday, day 1 of the card for week 2. I ended on a top set of 120 kilos, 1 power from the floor, 1 hang power. For 2 reps, I failed the second hang. I've never really done just hook grip. I've always hook gripped and then done 1 strap around the bar. So my grip gave out, but I was really happy with how fast the bar moved. I can throw in the clip. And then I was able to back squat too. I got to get better at filming my sets. But first time back squatting the depth since January because of injury. I did a 5x5 of 120 kilos, so 264 pounds. I felt pretty light. I was pretty happy with it. Definitely had a wicked hip shift. But overall, pretty happy. Relatively pain-free, all things considered. And then today, Tuesday is my sprint day, so I did 4x200 tempo, so run at 200, walk back 200 meters, run at 200, splitting around 40 seconds for the 200s, which isn't fast, but for me, that was fine. I was dying. I also had someone doing it with me, which is good because it made me push myself a little bit harder than I was expecting to. And then for today's lift, I did 5 sets of doubles on paused bench, ended with 2 sets of 245, which isn't a lot, but I'm just kind of easing in the paused bench. There was no need to push it only being week 2 of the card. Did 3 sets of weighted pull-ups with a 45 to failure, followed by 1 set of normal unweighted pull-ups to failure. That was supersetted with a high incline dumbbell press. Worked up to the 75s for 12. Then I hit heavy bent over rows, 3 sets of 8 with 275. And then just some tricep extension, arm, forearm, core work, stuff like that. Was pretty happy with today's lift. I think this is the best lift I've had since being back from fully lifting again. Looking forward in the week, I'm gonna try. So last week I deadlifted from 2 plates. Today I'm gonna try to deadlift from 1 plate on Thursday. See how that goes. Front squats to failure on Thursday. Push press I have coming up on Friday. I think I have 1 set of 3 and then 4 sets of 2 maybe, or maybe 2 sets of 3 and then 3 sets of 2. So I might work up heavier than 264. I might work the 274, which I think would be pretty good. A little bit of shoulder pain doing that with the torn labrum. But I think it's just because now that I'm not able to get body work every day as an athlete, I think I just have to really stay on top of doing it myself with foam rolling and stretching, everything that holds the shoulder in place over here. I think that just gets really tight and is causing some impingements. But besides that, good half week of training. I'm looking forward to the rest of the week. Off day tomorrow. I hate my off days. I get bored. I don't do anything. So, yeah. All right, week 2 in the books. Second half of the week. On Thursday, I deadlifted from the floor, conventional. First time since high school doing that. Pulled 398 for 2, 418 for 1. Failed the second rep. Raw, no straps, no belt. Hook grip. I was pretty happy with that. Then I did 3 sets of 12 on front squat, and then some RDLs, and then rear foot elevated leg finisher. Going into Friday, push press, forgot to film my set again, but I did 274 for 2, followed by weighted chin-ups, and that was supersetted with heavy low incline dumbbell, failing around like 10 reps, I think. And then I think I did some flies, and then some arms, shoulders, grip stuff like that. Friday was my recovery jog, 10 minutes light. It was okay. My legs were pretty smoked from the day before, and I'm still getting in the running, so that's okay. But looking ahead for this week of training, bench, I think I'm going to go to singles. It's also going to be weird. I finished my tattoo, so I kind of have to change my training a little bit for a couple days just because I want that to heal right. And I don't mind taking a few days off from training. Not from training, but modifying it. So like maybe Monday I won't be a super heavy lift because I don't want to sweat a lot with the second skin on, my tattoo. I was going to do a 5x5 a squat, and then heavy 1+1 cleans, but I don't know. I don't really want to catch across here right now because it's going to hurt like a fucking bitch. Weighed myself yesterday morning, weighed 222 or something like that, so up 2 pounds from the week before, which I know is just like intramuscular, like carbs and fluids and stuff, but also like definitely starting to put on some fat, which is fine. Like I'm trying to get strong, I'm trying to get big for like another 8 months or so before I cut. I don't think I'm at the size yet where I cut I would look good. I think I would just look small. So I'll throw in some training clips from this week. Like I said, beginning of next week's gonna be weird. It'll almost just be like a deload, I guess. Maybe I'll use it as, even though I don't really need a deload. There's really nothing I can do about it. So hopefully push press 279 for a double deadlift. I might just strap my top set of 418 and try to double it this week, because 398 moved pretty well. And then I honestly could have probably pulled the second rep of 418, but I just literally stopped pulling. I should have just not done that. So anyways, good week of training. Looking forward to next week as always. It's the weekend. I'm bored. I just want to train, so. All right, week 3 done. Didn't lift the beginning of the week. Took 2 days off. Let my tattoo healed. Didn't run either. So I lifted twice this week. I lifted on Thursday, Friday. Thursday, I deadlifted. I pulled 418 for 2 strapped. Before that, I do 2 sets of 398 strapped for 2. Last week, I did that without straps. 1 less set of 398, and I failed 418 second rep. So pretty happy with that. Straps made a big difference. I realized that like, if we're gonna deadlift, might as well strap and just pull more weight. Didn't squat either because I didn't want the bar going across this. Just did heavy rear foot elevated for my legs. I did 125s for 6, I think. And then today I benched. I worked up to 260 for a paused single, and then 3 sets of 5 at 225, not paused. Then I did 3 sets of weighted pull-ups. My last set was a drop set where I just dropped the weight belt and like after failure and kept going. What else did I do this week? Kind of an easy week because I took the first 2 days off. Today was a little bit more chest volume than I normally do on my Fridays because I didn't get to do a push. Oh no, same amount of chest volume, more back than normal because I didn't do as much back on Tuesday because I didn't lift, obviously. So yeah, good week. Last week of the card next week. I have singles for a lot of stuff. I would like to do maybe like 286 for 2 for my clean 1+1. Squat's still gonna be light because I only have squatted to depth once. Deadlift, I don't know. if I might go to singles and try to pull 200 kilos, so 440, which I'd be happy with. Bench, maybe I'll single 265 paused, but I'm not sure. We'll see. But good week. I'm gonna run tomorrow, so looking forward to week 4, last week of the card. All right, just wrapped up week 4, first half of the week. Yesterday for cleans, I did 286 for 1+1, power from the floor, hang power. No straps, which I was pretty happy with, moved well. And then I went up, I did 308 pounds strap from the floor for 1 and 318 strap from the floor for 1, which I'd never done before, so I was really happy with that. Squatted, light, easy, just to get back into squats. Still really haven't got back into that yet. And then today I worked up to a paused single at 275 for bench, which I was pretty happy with. Made some like technical changes to my bench, which helped a lot. A lot of like paused bench for me is just technique. I haven't really done it. Still trying to get into that. What else did I do? I did Yates rows with 275. I did weighted pull-up doubles with plus 65. And then dropped down and just did normal weighted pull-ups. Did some single arm pull downs. So overall, pretty good half of the week. This is my last week of this card, so next week I'm gonna do some new lifts. So it'll be like a 5-week card, but next week's gonna be a reload. So I'm gonna start going lighter for next week just because it's new movements, and I'm gonna work my way back up. I kind of like that like circular style of training. That's what I've done the past 4 years. It's helped me put on some size and strength, and I'm not like overtraining. My accessories, I always get pretty close to failure, but like my heavy compounds, I can't do 4 weeks of heavy compounds. I kind of need to work up to it. So that's pretty good. It was 225 yesterday morning on Monday, 224, which I'm happy with, putting on weight slowly but surely. So good half of the week. Looking forward in the week, deadlift, might do 418 for 2 again. Maybe go up, I'm not sure. That absolutely cooked my core last week. I'm gonna have volume front squats on Thursday, and then Friday, push press. Not sure what I'm gonna do, how smoked my triceps are gonna be from bench today and my accessories, but good week. Ran on Saturday, went for a quick little trail run from my apartment to the woods, so it was good.